This is an old beat up truck, and I paid $900 for it. And the last time y'all saw it, me and my dad pulled it out from the graveyard, towed it back to my house, and fixed the reason why I got it so cheap. The oil pump, along with the brakes and a fresh 2006 front end. Now, I do consider myself a master mechanic.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today I'm gonna show you how to super clean your car or truck.
But sometimes things don't go as planned because after spending $20 on this owner's manual and following it to a T, I still ended up having a giant oil leak due to the gasket. Which means I'm gonna have to do double the work to fix this truck. But I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna cry about it. Any last words?
Well, to each his own. I chose my path, you chose the way of the hero. And they found you amusing for a while. The people of this...
But we're not gonna worry about that today because I'm too excited to start painting this truck. Now, taking the first walk around the truck, you can see we've got a ton of areas that we need to address. But the most important one is building a good foundation, because just like a house, if your foundation sucks, your paint job will fail. And that's why step one is removing all this rust from the truck. Now let's talk about the weapons of my choice. Now, there's a ton of tools you can use to remove rust from your truck. But personally, I like to use a grinder and this attachment that I got off of Amazon. This seems to work the fastest. So I got to grinding, removing all the rust that I could. Now, you want to take your time. This will probably take me 1, maybe 2 days max. That took 4 days. Holy crap, that took forever. One thing that I learned quick is that heat warps metal. I'm not a scientist, but I found this out when I was painting the OBS, and that's why you'll find a gallon of Bondo under there. But we're not gonna talk about that right now. What I'm saying is take your time. Don't rush this and warp the panel and cause more work. And after 4 days, you'll get something like this. Now, we do have some staining going on here, but we'll address that later. Let's take care of the side pillars. Then the door panels. Then the bed rails. And that takes care of every piece of rust on this truck. Now, you may be asking yourself, Strata, how do we prevent new rust from coming back? And that is a good question. You see, even though it looks like there's no rust on this panel, there's actually microscopic rust being formed as we speak, and rust that we can't even see with our own human eyes. So we need something that will chemically stop that rusting process and seal this metal up for years down the line. And that's where acid comes into play.
Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing.
Not this type of acid. Phosphoric acid. This turns that microscopic rust into iron phosphate, which stops rust and creates a protective layer that's paintable. Well, at least that's what this YouTube video says about it, because I've never used this stuff and I have no idea how it works. But
How hard could it be?
since this is an acid, we need to dilute it with water. So the instructions call for 1 part water to 1 part phosphoric acid. I mean, you can't screw this up. Like, you'd have to be an idiot to screw this up. Oh. Well, that sink is indestructible now. Anyways, instructions are pretty simple. Wet the panel with the solution, scuff it down, leave it on there for 5 minutes, and rinse it off with water. Which feels illegal since we're trying to remove rust. But that turned out to work pretty good. I mean, just check out the before compared to the after. Those white particles are crystals that the new paint's gonna stick to. Well, at least that's what the instructions say. Let's find out. And after repeating these steps on all the other exposed metal parts, we were finally ready for some epoxy primer. Which, one of the cool things about epoxy primer is that you don't need to paint this in the booth. We're gonna paint it outside. And as I was getting the gun ready for paint, my arch nemesis decided to show up. This is Jarvis. Jarvis and I have a unique relationship. You see, back when I was painting the Turbo Diesel OBS, Jarvis decided to rain down on my parade, which forced me to take the hood off and repaint it not under the tree. You see, I learned from Jarvis. And since Arctic isn't the best guard dog out there, we're gonna have to speed through this while also keeping an eye on the birds at the same time.
Get out of here, drivers.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Strata, what about the hood? You didn't paint the hood. Well, the hood's got some issues that we need to address before we paint it. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know when I need something welded, I go directly to my brother. And he's been doing this for years. He's a beast, but it's finally time for me to learn how to weld. I mean, how hard could it be? I learned how to paint a truck by myself. This should be the same thing. Oh, damn. My first victim is this rust hole that's on the hood. I mean, look how small this thing is. It's kind of cute. Let's get started. First, I'm gonna do a little bit of research.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here, and today I'm gonna show you how to permanently and properly repair a rust hole in your car.
Then we're gonna find a piece of metal that fits over our work area. We're gonna wanna trace that out to make sure that it's nice and tight. Then we're gonna cut out that area that we just traced out. And I know, it looks pretty bad, but I figured, you know what? I'm welding. Might as well just close those gaps up. Then verify if your machine works. It works. It's pretty simple after this. You just start laying down dimes. Holy crap, I made it worse. Okay, let's not panic. Let's try the other side.
Honestly, that's not that bad. I mean, I closed the gap. So, all right, let's try to weld this up, man.
Wow. Yeah, just stick with what you know. Don't overcomplicate it. Just stick with what you know. Anyways, we'll worry about that later. For now, it's time for the next step, the bodywork stage. And we're gonna start this journey by tackling the hardest dent you're ever gonna have to fix in your entire life, the fender. You see, every single body line on this fender increases difficulty. And as you can see, we've got about 4, which means we've got a legendary that we're dealing with here. First, we're gonna tackle the bottom level because we can use this crease as our guide.
I am massively oversimplifying this, but let me explain it to you while also distract you because YouTube says that you think my instructions are boring. Thanks, TikTok. First, we need to find the spot on the panel that's not damaged. That is our anchor point. We're gonna use this crease as our anchor point. That means that we need to pull this metal out to match our anchor point. Then we can use this new area as our new anchor point, and we can use this to work our way up the panel. If you don't establish that anchor point, then you don't know how far to pull the metal out. You don't know what you're doing. It's like going through life without goals and dreams. You're just taking up space, disappointing your parents, your friends, your family. Why are you wearing sunglasses inside? You're such an idiot.
Let me show you an example in real time. As you can see, body lines make everything difficult because you're recreating a shape that was previously on the fender. But if you use my method, I promise it'll be easier because you have that reference point. You want to get it as flat as can be, but don't worry about those gaps. Then we're going to use Bondo to fill in the gaps. We're going to sand from the bottom up using the same crease when pulling the dent as our guide. Then you want to tape up the surrounding areas and shoot some high build primer over your entire area. High build primer is like a thinned out version of Bondo. That's why Bondo is used for the bulk areas and high build primer is used to get this panel laser straight. Just make sure that you check the weather before you start shooting.
All right, it is so hot right now that I'm standing over the truck to block the sun from hitting the paint. The paint is not properly curing. I just know it doesn't look right. So yeah, I should have thought this through a little bit better.
Yeah, I live in Texas. It's really hot here, but I should have took that as a sign as to what's coming next. But anyways, we went ahead and got it in the shade and started working on the passenger side dents. When I first started doing body work, I did one dent at a time. That way I can save Bondo and practice on every dent. So I got better each and every dent, but nothing can prepare me for what happened next. Now, technically, I am a YouTuber, but I'm not Mr. Beast. So I tried saving money by using this body filler, and it's been sitting, as you can see, in my shed for a very long time. And as you can see, it's delaminating from the panel. We basically got to start all over. Damn. I'm glad I stopped when I stopped because everything was going wrong. I literally almost burned the entire truck down because the bulb was sitting on top of the headlight unit. Just like that girl who left you on red, sometimes you just gotta call it quits.
Man, she's such a hard worker. She's always so busy. I know you're busy, but have a great day at work. Call me after. 3 smiley faces. No, I'll just do 2. Oh man, life is good.
Day 2, doing double the work, which happens a lot. I'm not a pro.
Man, I get so dirty doing body work.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. Oh, shit.
Coward. We have a new world to conquer. You make me sick. Hiding in the shadows. Hiding from who you truly are. You can't escape yourself.
Hey, if you want to support my channel and have superpowers, make sure you pick up a Next Code hat in the description below. Now, before we move on to the next step, we have to address the hood. So I reached out to a professional to see if we can save this thing.
Wait, so you don't think I can save it?
Hell nah, bro.
And after that, I knew it was time for a change. So I went with the cow hood. And just look at the glow up this truck just had. I mean, I'm just so proud of it. It's like my little baby. Plus, I got this hood on sale because it had a dent on there that I fixed already. Yeah, try doing that, welders. Anyways, it's time for the next step. Seal the truck up. To prep a truck for sealer, we have to take all the bodywork that we just did and blend it into the panels as if it was never even there. This may seem hard, but I got a tool that's gonna help us get this job done. The block set.
Hey, did you think I was gonna say these hands? Joke's on you. I've been using them since the beginning. What the heck? Arctic, you been messing with my tools? Huh. No wonder my welding was trash.
In order to blend your bodywork into the panel, you need to think of your block as an eraser. Focus on the line and it will slowly fade into the panel and you won't even know that it's there. This is what you're looking for, and you want to take your time here. If not, you're gonna have waves throughout your entire paint job, and we don't mess with that. To prep the rest of the truck, you're just gonna want to scuff it up with a DA sander and 220 grit sandpaper, because that's what the technical data sheet calls for. Now, as we prep the rest of the truck, let's talk about why I'm building these trucks in the first place. You see, ever since I was a young kid, I've always enjoyed rebuilding trucks, and I love proving people that you don't need expensive tools or even a garage to do so. Now, I'm not saying it's wrong to pay someone else to do the work. I just never had money like that. I never worked in the plants, I was never a welder, and that's a big thing where I'm from. And through that passion, I created a list of vehicles that I have to rebuild and own before I die. I'm calling it the next restoration list. On this list, we've got cars like a 2004 Mustang Cobra. This was on the background of my Motorola Razr. And if you don't know what that is, you're probably an iPad kid. Now, my number one truck that I wish I had over any truck that I would sell all my trucks for is a Cat Eye single cab SS clone. Here's the crazy part. It has to be done using my first build ever, my high school Chevy Silverado single cab short bed. The first truck that I ever took apart, tried doing bodywork and painting myself. I ended up taking it to a shop because I had no idea what I was doing, but I learned a lot in the process. I sold this thing when I graduated from college, and I regret it every single day. And it's my dream to buy my truck back and build the ride that I've always dreamt of. But first, let's prime this truck. Make sure you subscribe for part 2 where we lay some color down on this truck. And just ignore that oil stain under there. We'll take care of that eventually. Maybe not. Who knows?